Hi guys, welcome to my channel. Hope you're all well. So today I'm uploading a video about applying to medical schools. So in particular, which medical schools to apply and why. What are the reasonings you need to look at when applying to a medical school. Hopefully you find this video informative and useful. And let's get straight into this. So as we all know, there's only four choices on the UCAS application for medical schools, and you can have a fifth choice, which is as a backup many people have. So it's quite pivotal that you choose the four options with a well thought out process, taking all the pros and cons into account, because every university has their pros as their cons, and it's about what's best for you. And you need to make sure that you can make this decision effectively and competently. And one of the main reasons people choose sometimes medical schools, which I've experienced, is if they're, let's say, close to home, which is a big factor. If you can stay at home, you will save a lot of money. That's true. But you still need to look into the course and make sure you make an informed decision whether that course is for you. So let's say I'm from Manchester, so I would like to go to Manchester school, medical school, as a first instinct, so I could stay at home. But I need to make sure that I look through the course structure, what the course is like, what other people think about it, the place. And so let's say if Manchester was PBL and I don't like PBL, even though it was close to my house and I would stay home, I should not go for Manchester, because seeing as I'll have to spend 5 years there doing that particular type of course, which if I don't enjoy it, there's no point of me embarking on that course. So one of my main tips is that you make sure that you visit the medical schools in person you're planning on applying. So at the start of the year, so I'm making this video in, let's say, now March. So if you're applying in October, you should have a rough idea about where you want to apply, like let's say a short list of 7-8 unis, and then make sure you research them and go to an open day if possible. So in particular in June, July, there's a great deal of open days where you can meet students, meet staff, lecturers, go to talks about the course, and etc. So they're quite very helpful events, and I highly recommend going to them. Make sure you narrow down your desired medical school list to let's say 5-6, and you go to all their open days and talk to the people there and the staff. Ask them how it is. Go around the city, whether it's a campus-based uni or a city-based, and make sure you like the place and the course is right for you, whether you like PBL or whether you like integrated course, etc. After you've done that, you will be in a much better place to make an informed decision. And another big factor when choosing medical schools is the entry requirements. So medical schools have a quite varying degree of entry requirements, even though all of them are very hard. So as we all know, it's not easy to get into medical schools. It's the hardest degree to get into. But let's say you need to play to your strengths, because some universities focus on other areas than others compared to other universities. So for example, let's say grade-wise, Oxford, King's, UCL, all the London universities, and the Oxford and Oxbridge, they have requirements of at least A-star AA, whilst others all have 3 years requirements. So that could be a big factor in your choice, and some even require that the A-stars in, let's say, biology or chemistry. So you need to be realistic and efficient and effective in choosing the unis based on their offers, because even if you get an offer, let's say, of A-star AA, there's no point applying to that medical school and getting that offer if you don't think you can achieve those grades, because getting an A-star at A-level is very, very hard. As we can know, even getting an A is very hard. So we need to be very focused and correct with our choices, and so we need to make sure that we're playing to our strengths at all times. And another thing is that some medical schools have admission tests which follows the UKCAT, while others use the BMAT, which is another factor. So the big advantage of using UKCAT is that you have your result before applying, whereas the BMAT is sat in November usually. But even though from this year they've started the September sitting, but so now you could have your result prior to applying. So that's makes the BMAT more of a student-friendly path to go for. So you need to make sure you look through BMAT and UKCAT are both very hard. Personally, I like the UKCAT more than the BMAT, but others say vice versa, because BMAT is more scientific based, whilst the UKCAT is more cognitive learning, and your mental ability tests is quite generic. So yeah, and make sure you look at the application process at all the universities you are thinking of applying to. So let's say some universities are very GCSE heavy, whilst others are personal statement heavy. So for example, Birmingham University, look at your GCSEs 70%, so your top 8 grades. So if you let's say you've got weak GCSEs, so like 5 Bs and 2 As, you should not be applying to Birmingham, because your application will be less competitive compared to other people. So you need to be very efficient and effective when it comes to these, because every applicant will be very strong. So if you're putting a application such as that with 5 Bs and 2 As to Birmingham at GCSE, you will be at disadvantage straight away, and it's highly unlikely that you will get an interview. So you could, in such a situation, if you have, let's say, weak GCSEs, you can go and opt to apply for other degrees where they don't look at GCSEs as much. For example, some unis only have a minimum requirement of, let's say, a B in GCSE English and Maths. That's it. They don't look at GCSEs further, so that might be a better option for you. So yeah, and other unis are very personal statement heavy, and so yeah, you need to make sure that your personal statement is up to scratch. So for example, Bristol are very personal statement heavy, King's College, UCL, and yeah. So I'll also be covering these personal statement and into the application process advice in the future videos. But for relevance to this video, another main tip that I would say when choosing your UCAS universities is also looking at how much, what are their interviews like? Is it panel based or is it MMI? Because mostly now universities are heading towards an MMI interview type, where they think it's more effective in selecting medical students, as it gives a more fair opportunity to the student to blossom in the interview. Seeing as a panel, if you make, let's say, you have one bad question, that could affect the whole result of the interview. However, let's say MMIs, so this year all my interviews were MMIs, you have, like, let's say 7, 10 stations, 7, 8, 9 stations. So even if you mess up on one, you've still got time to rectify your mistake on subsequent stations. So that's quite a big bonus. So yeah, only a few do panel based now, which is, I think, UCL, Imperial, Oxbridge, and I think Southampton. Yeah. So yeah, you need to make sure that you are you know what the application process is for the medical school you are applying, whether they use UKCAT, BMAT, what's their ratings. So yeah, so let's say you get your UKCAT results, and UKCAT's not very high, let's say 600 or something, or band 2 or 3. Some universities are quite stringent, as they say, students who don't get band 1 in the situational judgment are very unlikely to get an interview. So you need to make sure you work according to that. And some say that some have specific cutoffs. So let's say if you got 630 in your BMAT and you're applying to Manchester, which when their cutoff is normally 660, 670, you're very unlikely to get an interview. So you can't be wasting any choices on your UCAS application based on these silly errors. So you need to make sure you've got the maximum chance in your 4 universities of getting an interview. So all these admissions tests and all that are just to get an interview. After that, it's all to you to perform at the interview and get the offer. Everyone's in the same playing field come interview. So yeah, this was about how I believe you should be choosing medical schools as a my personal experience. So yeah, if you have any questions, please put them down in the comment section below, and I'll answer them as soon as I can. So yeah, hope you enjoyed this video and it was helpful to you. Please like and subscribe, and yeah, have a good day. Thanks.